Beyond our galaxy. Beyond our galaxy. On today's show, we're going to be talking about a variety of topics as they relate to the science of astronomy. We are going to be talking about the many different definitions of astronomy. There are many different definitions and terminologies found in the field of astronomy. Just like doctors need to learn what the terms and definitions in medicine are, and lawyers need to learn their definitions and terminologies that pertains to the laws of the land, so do astronomers, both amateur and professionals, need to learn the definitions and terminologies of the science of astronomy. It takes a professional astronomer about 6 years of study in a college or university to earn their degree to work in planetariums and or observatories. So get your pad of paper together with a writing utensil, and we will begin with our definitions on today's show. What is astronomy? Astronomy is the branch of science that deals with celestial objects, space, and the physical universe. An astronomer are those who study the subject of astronomy are normally called astronomers. There are professional astronomers and amateur astronomers. These people would be considered professional astronomers, seen here in this picture. Professional astronomers usually work in observatories or planetariums around the world. Here are amateur astronomers, which could be families or individuals who study astronomy for fun and usually belong to astronomy clubs. Our next definition is this. What is space? The definition of space is this. 1. A continuous area or expanse that is free, available, or unoccupied. 2. The positions of two or more things that are separated apart with space in between. There's about 48 billion light years of observable space, or 2.7 times 10.23 miles of space to see. Our next definition is this. What is a star? A star is this. A gigantic ball of gas that continuously produces large amounts of energy. This energy includes light from its hot, dense core. This continuous process is called nuclear fusion. Here's our sun that does the same kind of process of nuclear fusion. And just think about this for a moment. Our sun never sleeps or stops working. Here's what nuclear fusion process looks like in this diagram. Stars come in many different sizes and colors as seen in the next picture as well. Our next definition is called planets. A planet is a celestial body that is recognized as a planet. It revolves around a star, like the sun, in an elliptical orbit. A planet is usually considered a planet made up of rock and other things as well. In our solar system, there are now considered to be 8 planets that orbit the star called the Sun. In our solar system, there are 4 inner planets, also known as inferior planets. There are 4 outer planets, also known as superior planets. The 4 inner planets are also known as terrestrial planets because they have solid rock mass and formation. The outer planets, also known as gas giants, because this is what they are made up of and have no land mass at all. The next definition on today's show is called an asteroid. Asteroids are also known as minor planets, a solid body object made up of metal and rock. These asteroids are small rocks that orbit around the sun between the planets Mars and Jupiter, as seen here in this picture. Some of these asteroids exist outside of this belt and are bigger in size as well. Asteroid Sirius, seen here in this picture, is the largest one in our solar system. It is also known as a minor planet and is 294 miles big in size. Asteroids typically are separated by distance from each other, about 600 miles apart, and never hit each other. Gravity keeps these rocks in orbit around the sun. Our next definition is this. What is a moon? The definition of a moon is this: a natural smaller object, usually made up of rock, that usually orbits a planet. It can be seen through a telescope or a pair of binoculars. It can be viewed by these objects because of the sun's light that reflects off from it. Planet Earth has one moon and orbits about 238,000 miles away. The same side of the moon always faces Earth, and the sun reflects off from this. Here are the 4 largest moons of Jupiter discovered by Galileo: Io, Europa, Callisto, Ganymede. Here are some awesome pictures of our universe for you to enjoy viewing. So get yourself that warm cup of coffee, sit right back down in your easy chair, relax, and enjoy. Our next definition we now will talk about is called the telescope. A telescope is an optical instrument manufactured to make distant objects look closer. This is done by the use of a lens and a curved mirrors. The rays of the light from the distant object is collected and then focused to the mirrors of the lens. There are two different kinds of telescopes, a reflector and a refractor type telescope. Light is drawn straight into the reflecting telescope, whereby all one has to do is look into the eyepiece to see the object. The refractor telescope collects light at the end of its tube, then bounces it back to a second lenses, whereby a viewer can see the object. While amateurs usually work with telescopes like we saw in the last two pictures, professionals work with bigger ones like this one located throughout the world and must have a degree to be able to work at these telescopes. The next definition we now will talk about is called the planetarium. A planetarium is a building that has a dome on top of its ceiling that displays images such as stars, planets, and constellations. These are used for entertainment or educational purposes for people to watch while seated in comfortable chairs looking up at the dome. Here's an example of a comet that can be seen traveling across the dome. Here are some awesome pictures of observatories and planetariums around the world. So get yourself that warm cup of coffee, sit right back down in each chair, relax, and enjoy. The next terminology we now will talk about is what is called a constellation. A constellation is a pattern of stars that a human can easily see, identify, and are found in an organized pattern. These patterns can be in the shape of an animal, human, or inanimate object. There are a total of 88 number of constellations found in both the northern and southern hemisphere. Here is a constellation called Orion the Hunter. It is very recognizable by seeing the three stars located in the middle of it. With the use of a little imagination, one can see the shape is of a hunter out hunting for his food. Can anyone tell me what tool we should use to remove the appendix? You mean, doctor, you didn't learn which tool is the right one to use in school? No, I just thought learning those definitions were a waste of time. Okay, everyone, let's gather around here with the choice of your tool. Let's see who can pull out this patient's appendix first. I have a feeling this is going to be a very long day. Our next definition we will now talk about is called a rocket. The definition of a rocket is this: a cylindrical projectile that can be propelled to great heights or distances by the combustion of its contents. A rocket can be used for the following reasons: 1. Carry satellites into space. 2. Carry humans into space. 3. Can be used for military purposes. Dr. Robert H. Goddard, 1882 to 1945. Dr. Goddard is considered to be the father of rocketry. He helped usher in what is called the space age. The space age can include the space race, space exploration, and space technology. Here's Dr. Goddard standing next to his first liquid fuel rocket. He launches this rocket on March 26, 1926. The rocket flies 40 feet into the air and takes just about 2 seconds to do this. The next definition we will look at now is called sunspots. A sunspot is a spot or patch usually black in color. It appears both big and small in size. It appears on the sun from time to time. Warning: never ever look directly at the sun with your eyes, but always use filters or cardboard instead. The next definition we now look at is called craters. A crater is like a cavity. However, it is found on a planet or a moon. Craters are believed to be caused by an impact from another object like an asteroid. Here's an example of a crater found on Earth's moon, and these craters can vary in depth and size as well. Here's the first planet, Mercury, the first planet in our solar system. Note the many different kinds of craters found on Mercury. And the next picture shows the Earth's moon and its craters as well. The Earth's moon that is smaller than Mercury. The fun part of studying Earth's moon is learning the names of the craters and where they are located. The next definition is called a blue moon. A blue moon. The Earth's moon appears blue as seen here in this picture. A blue moon is also known for being 2 full moons seen in the night sky in 1 month's time. Here are some awesome pictures of the blue moon seen in the next few pictures. Our next definition is called the speed of light. The speed of light. The speed of light travels throughout the space at the speed of some 186,000 miles per second. This is an incredible speed too hard for the human mind to comprehend. It takes years for light to travel from one star to reach planet Earth. For example, the star from Polaris seen here in this picture, its light takes us about 4 years to reach Earth. Our next definition for today's show is Aurora Borealis. Aurora Borealis is also known as the Northern Lights. These are natural light displays that can be seen in certain parts of the world. These lights happen when particles from the sun strike atoms in the Earth's atmosphere, causing electrons in the atoms to move to a high energy level. When electrons drop back down to lower energy level, they release a photon called light. Here are some awesome pictures of the northern lights to enjoy viewing. Our next terminology is called a zenith. A zenith is the point in the sky that is directly overhead of a person standing vertically. Here one can see a human being standing straight up, and the zenith is right above them. Here's another picture showing where the zenith is at as it relates to the astronomical horizon. Our last definition on today's show is called a meteorite. A meteorite is first called a meteor. This is what it is called until it falls through the Earth's atmosphere and hits the ground. There are basically three types of meteorites. 1, iron. 2, stone. 3, stony iron. Here's what a meteorite looks like when found once it has hit the ground. Hey gal, you want to know what I wish for? Not really, Nick, but go ahead and tell me anyway. I wish all those meteorites were gold falling onto the ground. Great wish, Nick. If I could find a bunch of them, I could pay the Pope off for my freedom. Now you're thinking, gal, but what would you do then? Buy myself a bigger house and live like a king. Hey, gal, look, here comes a meteorite now. Quick, make a wish. Here came that meteorite, just like old Nick said, but poor old gal failed to look up into the night sky. Well, that is all for today's show, but only time will tell what we earthlings will find when we look up into the night sky and beyond our galaxy.